everyone, it's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria. I have a Master's of Science in Human Nutrition, and I'm here to help you build a high-functioning metabolism so that you can get and stay effortlessly lean, slim, fit, and healthy, all while eating as much as you want of high-carb, low-fat foods. That is what I personally practice and have been practicing for over a decade, and I teach as well. I have a coaching program and other coaching services that are available in the link in the description box. Just give it a click and it'll take you there. So in today's video, I thought I would do a Q&A. It's been a little while since I've done a Q&A, so I've been getting a lot of questions and comments on my latest videos. I'm not able to answer them all. A really good place if you want your question answered is to join my coaching group. It's a private group and it's a Q&A format. So you will get your questions answered because I'm not able to answer them all. I have so much other things going on, so I can only spend a certain amount of time answering YouTube questions. But today I'm going to answer some here. I have 37 comments on my latest video that I uploaded yesterday. Will I have more success than Freelee on an all-fruit diet? So we'll see what all I can get to. Okay. I also want to let you guys know that I'm going to start implementing some of the Mucusless diet healing systems concepts into what I teach. So if you're unfamiliar with this book, I highly recommend getting it on Amazon. You can get it anywhere from $5 to $10. Very cheap, and just giving it a read, getting it started. There's also audiobooks available. There's free audiobooks available on YouTube. So you can check that out and kind of move with me on this journey, right? And you'll notice by reading this book that what I've been promoting for the last decade and practicing myself, and what Freelee has been doing with a fruit diet and raw tofu, it's all the transition diet to a mucusless diet. Mucusless diet is a fruit and green leaf vegetable exclusive diet, but in order to get there, it's important to transition, because in that journey to, being able to maintain a fruit and veggie diet, which is what I'm doing right now, you need to spend time transitioning so that it becomes sustainable, because it's important that when you're eating a fruit and veg exclusive diet, without overt fats, without, oils, without nuts and seeds, avocado, coconut, cooked starch, cooked vegetables even, that you, one, can eat enough calories from those foods, but two, that you are able to, that you don't fall back into something like worse, and then the foods that I just listed, the plant fats, the starches, the cooked vegetables, those are all healthy foods, and they can all be included on your transitionary diet, although I really recommend focusing on like a raw till 4, where you're eating fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch, and then having a starch and vegetable dinner, because that's more in alignment with the transitionary diet, where it's helping you to get into that fruit and greens only diet. But it's important to recognize that like plant fats are mucus forming, some starches are mucus forming, depending on how you prepare them. Some vegetables can be mucus forming. So he goes over all of that in the book, and like I said, my content is going to start implementing a lot of these principles into it, because really this is the manual for human health, okay? And there is something really special about the human body that allows us to maintain really good health if we eat a diet that is in support of us achieving that level of health, right? Or maintaining that level of health. They really go hand in hand, and I already started talking about that concept here, where you want to be eating a healthy diet, healthy food, plant-based, fruit and veg heavy, as well as including starches if that's where you're at. But we also want to be supporting the eliminative functioning of the body that happens naturally, which is the cleansing process that just keeps us alive and that we do effortlessly just because we're breathing air and our liver's working and our kidneys are filtering and all of that's going on. We want to eat a diet that supports that process. And sometimes if we're eating too much mucus forming foods, we can get clogged up. So yeah, check this book out, because from here on out, I'm going to start reading parts of the lessons to you guys, and then talking about it from my perspective on here. But let's get into this Q&A. Okay. So, question that should be asked is not how skinny am I, it's can I love myself fully if I'm not? And what other hobbies and interests do fulfill me that don't involve dieting and exercise? Wouldn't want to walk in Freelee shoes, whose life is only about her diet. Her only hobby is making clothes, which she uses to show off her body. I used to look up to her for way too long. She came from anorexia, switched to orthorexia for life. Okay, this is a loaded one. I think they're telling me that I aspire to be Freelee, and that is not the case. I have children. I have a life outside of this. I have a life outside of diet and exercise. Diet and exercise is what I do in order to support my own health so that I can be the best mom that I can be. That's like my primary. And so I use healthy eating and staying physically fit in order to just make my life easier. So other hobbies that I personally have is I like to clean, keep a clean home. I like to garden. I like to be out in nature, just doing whatever, sunbathing, hiking. I like to spend time with my family. That is the majority of where I'm at right now, is everything I do is for my children. So they're my hobby right now, as well as like, I have other things that I need to do, like make picture books but right now I'm very busy with a baby, and when I'm filming it's because he's sleeping or he's usually in the background playing. So, I have very limited time to do a whole lot right now because that's just where I'm at. I have made comments about Freelee being orthorexic in the past, and I think, it depends on the context that it's coming from. So it's always important to use the foundational principles that I have given you guys in regards to diet, because those are foundational and they apply no matter what you're doing or eating. Okay, where you're eating enough calories every day, you're eating enough carbohydrates every day to fulfill your glucose needs. You are getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, eating a plant-based diet so you're meeting the majority of your nutrient requirements, exercising daily, just doing the things that you need to do in order to be healthy, right? The foundational principles of health. And then I'm incorporating this now to really segue into supporting health to the next level. We're using the foundational principles that I've been, promoting on this channel for as long as I've been doing this channel, since 2015, and just taking it up a notch if you're interested, and really like creating a diet that supports, elimination of waste materials that accumulate in the body naturally, and really just supporting that so that you can get the best bang for your buck out of, your diet. Medical Medium is actually his protocol implements this. Okay, so that's why he's had so much success with his clients, and that's why I say if you really have like a healing crisis or something, using his protocols, they all fall under what I recommend, but they're just a little bit stricter and a little bit more regimented in terms of like what you're trying to heal, but it all implements the Mucusless diet healing system as well. Anybody who's having success with their health, on the level that medical medium is, showing in his Instagram and everything and proposing to in his books. It's because they're following this standard. Okay. So is Freelee orthorexic? People say I'm orthorexic. People say that being vegan is orthorexic. So those are definitely opinions. Anorexia is less of an opinion. Freelee didn't have full blown anorexia either. She dabbled with that. She had bulimia. She took a lot of drugs. I have a similar background as well, and really, I think it's a natural inclination to desire to be the best version of yourself, and the only way to like figure that out is through trial and error, and that's why I'm on here trying to help you figure out your own personal situation so that you can be the best version of yourself. And that just means that life gets easier because you're taken care of, your health is taken care of. Okay. Any concerns dealing with long-term damage to liver, higher enzyme levels, higher triglycerides, non-alcoholic fatty liver? Those are all related to insulin resistance. So if you have insulin resistance because your diet's too high in fat, or you've been chronically under eating for a really long time, um, or and this is the newest thing that I've implemented, is using a glucose meter to see what your glucose levels look like so that you can rule out, certain meals or certain foods that are giving you a problem with elevated blood glucose levels, because you want your glucose levels to stay within normal range. And if they do, you will not experience high enzyme levels, higher triglycerides, or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So it's all about being a little bit more objective with your health in order to avoid, that kind of reading in your blood work. And if that's something that is showing in your blood work, I recommend, low fat diet, high carb foods focused on fruits, vegetables, starches, sugar to taste, and then using a glucose meter. I'm curious to see how long you will keep it up. I'm guessing 4 months max, and you'll be switching fruit days with fruit and starch days again. Now, I have never been on a fruit-based diet for 4 months, so that's a good goal for me to kind of make. But I'm just going with the flow here, and my goal, I guess, is to be predominantly fruit, in greens. But when fall comes around and all the yummy squash comes out, and all the varieties of sweet potatoes, like, I'm probably going to be getting into those. Like, I'm not like so dogmatic in saying like you must only eat fruits and vegetable and green leaf vegetables, right? Like, I am on my own transition, and my transition includes, it's included up until the, recently, being predominantly raw till 4. I have dabbled with a fruit exclusive diet in the past. I've done it for a little bit, and then I've always come back to raw till 4. So you want to have a fallback diet. Before I got pregnant, I was doing fruits and green leafy vegetables, and then I was able to maintain that up until I hit my second trimester, and then I wanted to switch back to raw till 4, and I did, and I had a healthy pregnancy outcome, and everything was really great. But that's what I fell back to. I didn't fall back to, like, you know, McDonald's and Pizza Hut and, all the nasty crap that people eat when they're pregnant, because they don't have like a foundation for a healthy diet prior to going into it. Okay. So my goal is to just continue doing what I've been doing, which has been raw till 4. I'm always eating fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch, and some kind of vegetables and starch for dinner. Right now I'm eating vegetables and fruit for dinner. So it's also summertime where I'm currently at. Well, springtime, moving into summer. So all the fresh fruit is coming out. So it only makes sense that, this is the way that I'm eating right now. But, as I like to eat seasonally, and in the wintertime have soups and things like that. So I'm not dogmatic in saying that you must just eat fruits and green leafy vegetables. Like, that's not my goal. I'm just doing what my body wants to do right now, and being very like intuitive and studying what food actually is, because a lot of plant food that people eat are seeds, and that's where you can get into trouble, is eating too many seeds, because seeds contain anti-nutrients. They contain elements of them where they don't want to be eaten because they want to grow a new plant, right? And that's why like fruits and roots are more desirable. They also tend to fall in more alignment with the transition diet to a fruit diet in the mucusless diet healing system. Okay, eating only fruit makes me anxious. I have to eat starches and protein to keep me from being anxious. That is likely because you need to transition longer if eating a fruit based diet is your goal. If eating, fruit and just green leafy vegetables, you have to transition longer so that you're not hitting your body with just like a big dump of whatever's stored within it. Because let's be honest, we've all been exposed to some really crazy stuff during our lifetimes, and some of that stuff gets stored up in our system. Medical Medium talks about that. It's talked about in this. And, when you switch to a more natural diet, that stuff starts to come out, and it can cause anxiety, heart palpitations, nervousness, things like that. And when you're eating starch and protein, it helps to anesthetize you to an extent to that. I actually have a really good experience with this when I had to have dental work done. This was at least 5 years ago, because I haven't had a cavity in like 5 years, but this is probably the last time I had one. Um, they have to give you, the uh, lidocaine, whatever it is, to numb you. Well, I was like really feeling it, because I usually eat fruit all day and then a starch meal at night. Well, once I ate my starch meal, all that pain went away, because now my body's focused on what I just put into it versus what it was dealing with at that time. So, if you're gonna eat starches, focus on your sweet potatoes, your baked squashes. Kaboka squash is really good. Protein, you can do peas, legumes, chickpeas, things like that. Check out the mucusfreelife.com and the mucusless diet healing system, or the mucusless food list that is available there, and it'll give you, good options to eat for protein and starches that fall in alignment with, still promoting the least amount of waste accumulating in the system and the most stuff being eliminated. Okay. I love the fruit diet, never going back. I agree with you about the fat and feel much better without it. I only have overt fats on a very rare occasion if I'm out to eat 1 to 2 times a year. Wow, that's pretty good. Fruit and greens for the win. Great share today, Victoria. Yeah, girl, you know what's up, Lolita. And the thing with fats is they're mucus forming. Okay, it's better to eat starch than it is to eat fats. Starch eliminates better, and we're talking about like root vegetables and squashes here. I'm not talking about the grains. Grains and fats eliminate kind of similarly, but fats are stickier, whereas grains like rice, for instance, it dissolves in water. It can be washed away in with just water, whereas fats need a degreaser in order to break them down. So you got to figure that's usually coming from your gallbladder. That's why a lot of people who end up with gallbladder disease, they eat a lot of fat, and then when they have their gallbladder removed, they can't eat a lot of fat anymore, because it's just causing like colon spasms all the time. So yeah, fats are bad news. Ditch the fats completely and opt for a raw till 4 starch-based dinner option instead. Okay, all those raw people focusing on those fatty dinners, no good. Okay, do you have a suggestion for a good salad dressing, not fruit based? I like to use coconut aminos. I switched from soy sauce to coconut aminos and lemon or lime. Although I'm trying to get off salt completely. That's like my biggest challenge right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or even if it's necessary because I have a tendency to have lower blood pressure. But I think with what I'm doing right now, everything with that is going to improve or just like level itself out. Okay. They're eating more plant fats because eating 1,500 plus calories of fruit every single day of the year is too much sweetness. I disagree with that. We're sweet seeking creatures, so if we want to eat a lot of fruit, that's very natural. If all starches disappeared, I would be forced to eat less than 1,000 calories a day because I can't handle 1,000 plus calories of sweetness every day, and I don't want to eat large amounts of plant fats. That's fine. Maybe at most 1 or 2 days a week I could eat 1,500 to 2,000 calories of fruit, and that's it. So no starches would equal eating less than 1,000 calories a day for me most days. Okay, well, you have to just keep working your own transition there, bud. Like, I'm not saying that, you need to eat an exclusive fruit diet if you don't want to. Like, plenty of people are healthy and stay healthy eating raw till 4. I just like amped my own like diet up a level because I'm still have a bunch of junk coming out of my face, um, and I just wanted to make it easier to eliminate. But you do you. Starches are great. Fruits, vegetables, starches, legumes if you desire them, sugar to taste. That is the foundational human diet. Okay. You know how on the basic food pyramid, they put the plant fats at the top? That's where they belong. It's like use sparingly, right? I will say, I think Raw Food Romance eats low fat, but agrees she avoids fruit, but her wraps do have a lot of dates in them. They're so sweet. Yeah, I've never tried them. I was just watching a few of her What I Eat in a Day videos, and she was like dumping hemp seeds into her smoothies, and just I just think that when you're going to like recreate all these cooked food dishes using raw foods, just eat the cooked version. There's a reason why people cook a lot of these plant foods, and it actually makes the nutrients more bioavailable and makes these foods digestible. Sprouting rice and sprouting grains and sprouting legumes and nuts and seeds, you're actually awakening the plant, okay? And then the plant's gonna come with its own like sprouts. You're not supposed to eat sprouts when you're pregnant because of the toxins that the baby plants contain are more concentrated to prevent them from being eaten. Okay, hey, you really think you look good and healthy? Yes, I do. And a lot of people criticize the way that I look. I'm going to be 37 in less than a month, and I've had 3 children. I think that I look great. Somebody mentioned that I look more tan because the sun's out now, and when I go get sun, I get tan. Okay, so if I eat all fruit but it's less calories, I'm still good so long as I don't intentionally restrict or starve myself. Yes, eat for your appetite, and your appetite's going to ebb and flow as well. But generally, women will eat 2,000 plus calories a day, men 2,500 plus calories a day, somewhere around those lines. Great video. I live a starch solution lifestyle, but I would love to incorporate or turn it into more of a high raw situation. Is this possible? Any tips? Yes, if you're following starch solution and you want to turn it into more of a fruity solution, start with the fruit for breakfast. Just make your whole breakfast is fruit, a smoothie, a big bowl of watermelon, something, satiating. Um, but yeah, start with that first meal and then work your way into raw till 4 or fruit till 4 and go from there. Stay on fruit till 4, raw till 4 for a while until you want to start incorporating like all fruit days. That's what I've done, and I think that that's the best way to do it. That is the transition diet. Okay. Amazing video. I watch all the other people that you named as well. However, following your protocol has totally helped me. Lots of fruit, not chowing down on potatoes as much at night right now, and it seems to be serving my body well. Love it either way. Yes, our body does more in regards to like healing and eliminating and things like that when we go more fruit based. And that's why a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I feel better. I have more mental clarity, more energy. Because depending on your genetics, depending on your fitness, depending on your age, some starch can be a little bit too bogging down. So, switching, if that's what you're experiencing, switching to more fruit will be the solution to that. But some people need that heavier starch, depending on what their lifestyle is like and what eating pattern they're coming from, things like that. So this is not a one size fits all protocol. Okay, the foundational principles can be applied to everyone. Again, they're found in my coaching program. But where you're at with your diet and your health and your genetics and your age, that's going to require individual calculation, okay? An individual approach for what's going to work, what's going to help you stay. One, high carb, low fat, plant based vegan is the first goal, and then two, adopting a raw till 4 type eating pattern, and then three, if moving into the all fruit if that's where you want to go or need to go. Like I said, medical medium, he does this same protocol. It's more specific for healing certain ailments, but he follows this. All of the plant-based diet protocols, they all follow this to a certain extent, okay? So get you a copy and read it. Okay. Last question. What do you think about Caroline Deisler? After she became pregnant, she incorporated more avocados at almost every dinner and still looks good, slim, and fit. I consulted my good friend on Caroline Deisler because I was like, what's her secret? She's looks like she's always kind of borderline underweight. She did have a baby. Um, she follows this, okay? She follows a mucusless diet healing system transitionary diet approach within her, eating patterns. She includes more fats because she's always borderline underweight. And some people, that's just their natural propensity is to be, borderline underweight. Get Fit with Natasha is the same way. For myself, I'm not that way. My genetics are not designed that way. I'm more of like a storer versus a burner, just genetically speaking. Whereas, the natural models, like supermodels, where they can maintain 120 pounds at 5'11", and that's just their natural, body set point. They are more of a burner type versus a storer type. So the thing is that the high carb, low fat, plant based vegan diet works for everyone. But again, within that, there needs to be some individualization, and that's what Caroline Deisler has done. Her diet is predominantly high carb, low fat, raw till 4, mucusless diet transitionary approach. She's done all fruit in the past, but I believe she had trouble conceiving, or maybe she just wanted to put on weight prior to pregnancy to assist the pregnancy, so she eats more, overt fats. But that is about it for this video. Thank you so much for all of the comments and questions. Please leave any new ones down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.